It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Thursday, Scoot Around Travel and Cruise Industry News. Hey, I'm screwing up the broadcast right from the get-go. It's normal for me. Anyway, welcome to today's show. This, of course, is the second day of February, coming to you live from Mahogany Bay, Roatan, Honduras. I'm planning on going ashore today. We do have a whole bunch of little news stories this morning, which we'll get to eventually. And here's the headlines for today. Norwegian Breakaway, that's this ship, yesterday canceled our call due to high winds. Talk about that a little bit. Embarkation changed for the gym sailing. Protests in Cozumel. Big check for Ukraine relief from Holland America. Cruises canceled for the Carnival Glory. Some new longer itineraries from Carnival. And Costa returns to Asia. That and a lot more here at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, today is National Groundhog Day. So go out and kiss a groundhog or whatever you do look for his shadow or make it snow or something with groundhogs. I don't know. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventures.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big hitters, to search for travel and cruise industry news, and you'll come up with us. If you are ever listening via the podcast and want to check the pictures or video clips or anything that we're using on that day's show, just go to the description. There's always a link that'll take you over to the video feed. All right. Before we get to all the business at hand, we'll talk a little bit about what's happening here yesterday, and this was the first story this morning. Yesterday, actually, when I finished the show yesterday morning, I packed up the computer, put it in the basket on my scooter, picked up my phone and my Diet Coke, and went, it's probably 50 yards from here to a bathroom, because I'd been sitting there for about an hour and a half, So I went to go to the restroom before I went upstairs to process the show. Just as I was opening the door to the restroom, the captain came on and announced that we were forced to cancel the call yesterday in Harvest Key, Belize, due to high winds. So yesterday we did not get to dock. Of course, nobody ever went ashore. We ended up having an extra sea day, which was fun. I actually got some work done. I'll share a little bit with you because it's something that I've constantly fussed about on ships. I surveyed the public restrooms on all of the public floors on this ship. I went to every one of them yesterday. The way the Breakaway does it, on most floors, most of the public access floors, which is decks 6, 7, and 8, 15, 16, and 17, which is inaccessible. So I don't know about 17. But on the other open floors, there are 3 or 4, depending on the layout of the floor, sets of restrooms. By a set, the way it's done on the Norwegian, there will be a men's room usually on one side of the ship and a ladies' room on the other side of the ship, and not necessarily the same way. Some, the men might be on port, the next one, the men's might be on starboard. On one side or the other, in addition to those two restrooms, there will be a handicap accessible restroom. All of them, and I believe it was 18, all of them have the push buttons, doors to get in and out. All of them are completely accessible. I'm shocked, but it's true. So I can't fuss about the restrooms on this ship. At first, I thought the men's rooms, I didn't realize that there were three separate restrooms on each set. So the first couple of men's rooms I went into was not where the handicap accessible was, on the other side with the uh, near the ladies restroom on that particular floor. So where I thought there was going to be an issue here, there's really not. So that's a good thing. There's some other issues. Deck 17, like I say, you can't get up there at all. It's got to be a healthy flight of stairs. At the part of 17 that is a sun deck, they have a lift similar to the pool type lifts, but that would do me absolutely no good. Number one, you have to get somebody there to set it up and operate it, and they're not anywhere near, so you got to call and wait for them. But then the lift would take me up to the deck 17, but it's not going to take my scooter. So what good's that going to do me? I can't go up there and stand or walk around. I can't stand and walk around. So, that part of the ship is just totally not accessible to me. And there's some other things, but I'll have a full report on it before I leave here. I'll go downstairs and talk to the powers that be, and then I'll report on up to people that I'm working with on these various issues. So, all right, let's move on. And I'll be back with today's news. First, after a word from Scooter Rail.
Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scooter Rail. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scooter Round for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise.
And we're getting some announcements. Anyway, I'll be back after a quick word from one of our network sponsors.
Those guests over the age of 18, you'll also be paid valid photo ID. As always, if you are booked on a Norwegian cruise line short excursion, please double check.
All right, on with the news and what's being announced. They have, we've been approved in Roatan. Of course, we're already at dock. And so they're announcing that gangways are ready and you can start going down to get off the ship and what all you have to have with you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, all right, the top story this morning is on the Norwegian Gym. The guests booked on the February 6th sailing of the Gym have been notified of a change in their embarkation location, which will mean some necessary changes to planned arrivals at the cruise port. Fortunately, the ship's departure time and guests' arrival appointments do not need to be adjusted, and the disruption should be minimal. And a quote from a Norwegian: in order to provide a smooth embarkation experience, embarkation for Norwegian Gym's February 6th, 2023 sailing will now take place at the Panama Convention Center. Typically, folks, cruise ships departing from Panama City use the dock at Puerto Frente Amador on Flamingo Island in Panama Bay, just south of the city. A road does connect the cruise port to the mainland, and the Panama Convention Center is on the tip of the mainland. It's about 2.9 miles difference from the dock. Guests who book transportation to the pier through Norwegian will have their drop-off location automatically updated to the convention center. Guests arriving through private transportation, ride shares, taxi service, or independent shuttles will need to ensure their drivers have the updated location. The Panama Convention Center is located at Calle General Juan de Perón. The ship's February 6th sailing is an 11-night one-way cruise from Panama City to New York. All right, the next story this morning. Has to do with Cozumel. More than 100 people, including activists, citizens, and tourists, gathered during the week last week in Cozumel to protest the proposed construction of the fourth pier. The fourth cruise pier is a vital piece of infrastructure the Mexican government wants to construct to further development Cozumel as the #1 cruise port in the world. The protesters believe that the new pier will cause harm to the environment, destroy corals and coral reefs, and remove the only public beach in Cozumel. The proposed pier has faced opposition from local tourists and environmental groups for years. While the project is currently approved, construction has not begun. It was actually approved in 2020. The Global Coral Reef Alliance, an organization at the front of the protest, released a statement saying that the new pier will destroy the most critical project to regenerate coral in the area. Although there is little coral in the location now, environmentalists are working to restore what has already been damaged by past human activity. I have the feeling that the Mexican government is at some point in time is going to say, that's it, we're building the pier, go away. That's kind of the way they do it there. So, and it might be that they're getting ready to start construction and that regenerated the protests again. All right, the Carnival Glory. I have to skip a story. Carnival Cruise Line brand ambassador John Hield confirmed yesterday that a number of sailings must be canceled for the Glory in the spring of 2024 as the ship will be entering dry dock for maintenance. The impacted sailings include all departures from March 24th, 2024 through and including the April 28th, 2024 sailing. So if you're in one of those ships, one of those cruises, Carnival should have contacted you about the cancellation and what you're going to get for it, so forth. Okay, when I kind of stumbled over a story there, let me see if I can pull it back up. As I had actually a picture missing. There it is. So let me reload it real quick because it's a good story from Holland America, and we don't have good stories as much as I'd like in the cruise business anymore. But Holland America conducted a fundraising activity, and the generosity of Holland American Line Cruisers has enabled the line to make a major donation to a Ukrainian relief fund through a humanitarian aid group. The fundraising program called On Deck for the Cause began in March of 2022 on board the cruise line's 11 ships. Holland America has presented a check for $450,000 to Direct Relief, a global aid organization that provides life-saving medical resources to Ukrainians. During the past 10 months, guests aboard all of the line ships were invited to donate $25 to join a 5K walk during their cruise, and those contributions were set aside for Ukrainian aid. Good move by Carnival, and congratulations to all you people who did the 5K walk for charity. Pretty good story, I thought. All right, Carnival Panorama and the Carnival Splendor. Carnival Cruise Line has opened new bookings for 2 cruise ships, including 2 unique trans-Pacific sailings, Long Beach to Tokyo and Singapore to Long Beach. There will also be special unique cruises between Sydney and Singapore with Carnival Panorama and Carnival Splendor as the lucky ships offering these journeys. A little bit different from Carnival's usual fare. How about this one for a bucket lister for you guys? You leave Long Beach on August 22nd, 2024. You go to Alaska, do Alaska cruise. Then you cross over to Japan, hit some stops in Japan, and end up in Tokyo on September 10th. The prices aren't out on it yet, but I'm going to take a look at it. That would be quite interesting cruise. So we'll see. One of the things that yesterday did enable me to do, since I screwed up at the start of the show and I had myself in the stream instead of my background information. But because it was an unexpected sea day, I told you I got out to do some work. It also gave me a chance. I happened to hook up with Tony, and we were able to spend a little time chatting yesterday. Very, very nice, very good meeting with Tony. I enjoyed it, and I think we might do some things together. So we'll see. But anyway, I like Tony a lot, and Don as well. Had a good time with them on this cruise. One last story this morning before we get over to the chat room, and what is this thing doing today? Let's try that again. There we go. That's the Costa Serena. Costa announced its comeback in Asia with the cruise ship Costa Serena from June to September of 2023. Costa Serena will offer 30 charter voyages in collaboration with local Asian partners. The signing of the agreements took place in Dubai aboard the Costa Toscana, the flagship of the fleet deployed in the Arabian Gulf for the entire winter season of 2022-2023. So congratulations to Costa and the Serena going back to Japan. She was in Asia before the shutdown and layup, so she'll be returning. All right. Let's see who's in the chat room today, fussing at the old fat travel guy. There we go. All right. Kenneth's with us. Good morning, Kenneth, up here in Pennsylvania. How's the weather been so far? Of course, it was cold, not too awfully cold. The first couple of days in New Orleans were cold. It was pretty nice by the time we got on the ship on Sunday. It was supposed to rain. It was cloudy, and it wasn't the prettiest day. But it never, if it rained, it was a little misty stuff, not any thunderstorms. Then by the time we got out of the Mississippi River and into the Gulf, it's warmed up considerably. It's in the 80s here. Yesterday, it was windy. I mean, we had 30-knot winds, and that pretty much, it was in the wrong direction for how we had to dock. So that was why the captain felt it was unsafe to dock yesterday. But it was still a nice day. I mean, temperature-wise, I think it's supposed to be up in the 80s here today. When I was out earlier, it was cloudy, but it looked like that might probably burn off and end up being a pretty nice day. So the weather's been pretty good. I mean, I'm back wearing shorts instead of long pants, which I did the first couple days. But yeah, so I'm liking it, and I'm liking the ship. Yeah, there's a couple issues, but still, the food's been really good yesterday. Um, my friend Janie and I ran into each other and decided to do sushi. We did sushi for lunch. And then last night, a whole gang of us went to Oceans. And I had a blue burger and some wings. So that was pretty good. Oceans that's a pretty nice place. I had not done Oceans before when I've been on Norwegian, so that was a mistake. I should have. Let's see. Tonight we're going to La China. Tomorrow night, I think back in the main dining room, if I'm not mistaken. I told Melissa, just tell me where I'm supposed to be, and I'll be there. Meet you guys. Hot Air Tom's with us over there in Africa. He had an hour time change, so he's 8 hours behind us now, or ahead of us, or whatever. You know me, that confuses me. I have trouble with the clock changes on a boat. So, wish I could send a picture to chat. We have a beautiful day with very calm waters. Kenneth says, how is Africa? It's 4 p.m. there, okay. Africa was a lot cooler than I expected. Oh, really? That's amazing. Especially this time of year, that's still in their summer season. I did get to see a lot of animals up close. Yeah, we heard about you wrestling with the rhinoceros. Yeah. Kenneth says that's on his bucket list. He loves the animals. Madagascar tomorrow. The search for King Julian, king of the lemurs from the Madagascar movies. Carol's with us, says good morning. Coffee time with Chillie. Yeah, I'm surprised that we're having this many people early in the day. That's just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, all. One more day of 20 below zero. Wow. And then we'll have a few days of warming. Cindy's with us. Hi, Cindy. Hot Air Tom says eating chocolate-covered strawberries while watching Chillie. Life is good. Compliments to our butler. Yeah, that's nice. Way to go, NCL. Passed the handicap accessible bathroom test. Yes, they did. And congratulations to them. I've talked to a couple staff members about it since then. Haven't gotten to the main one I need to talk to, but I'm letting them know. And I've got notes on the negative things in my phone. That when I talk to them about the good things, I get to talk to them about the bad things as well. The buttons should not work for a cruiser wearing an MSC lanyard. The Chillie is so bad. Oh, God, where would I have? What have I've probably got 3 different cruise lines on. All right, I got my business cards. That's in a Royal Caribbean. I've got my Norwegian cards in my MSC lanyard. And then I've got the Bloggers Cruise with my name tag. I don't see, I don't happen to own a Norwegian lanyard, I don't think. Probably not. Not something that I buy hot air, Tom. If they've been given to me for some reason, I use them. Okay, remember, I'm a cheap, whatever. Tom, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Get Chillie and NCL lanyard. Yeah. So jealous, Tom. Enjoy. The Cooking Recipe House. When you mean order today, you mean if I accept to be a promoter or if I am going to buy something today. I'm not sure what you're referring to. So, because on my channel, you don't order things. Yet, I might at some point in time start some kind of a store, but I'm not at all sure what that reference is to. Cooking Recipe House, and you're not somebody that I recognize their name. Hey, there's Kevin 30 and a wake up. Good morning from Costa Maya on board Sky Princess. I used your pictures of you all dolled up, Kevin, on yesterday's show. Looking good, my man, looking really good. And of course, there was also a sunrise, which you do better than anybody I know. So, Kenneth wants to know how you like the Sky Princess. I like it. It's It's like most princess ships, but with more specialty dining. Okay. Carol says, hit that thumbs up for Chillie. Yes, thank you, Carol. I do appreciate that. Kenneth says that's our favorite cruise line. He likes Princess. I'm surprised they have that many protesters because the cruise lines bring so much money into the country. I think it's probably 100 people protesting. That's probably all the protesters, and it's very minor. But I mean, they have been protesting this, especially the people with trying to regenerate the coral. They've been fussing about this for years and filed lawsuits and everything. But finally, the pier won out, the government won out, and that's why it was approved in 2020. They just haven't started yet for some reason. Katie says she really loved Discovery Princess, a beautiful ship. I was thinking about taking that one to Hawaii. The Majestic we just got off of was a beautiful ship also. Everybody saying good morning to Kevin. Katie, where did you go on Discovery? Kenneth wants to know. I've been on 5 Princess ships and almost 20 Royal Caribbean ships. Katie, have you gone to Hawaii? I don't think she's gone to Hawaii. I should probably answer that. No, but it's on our bucket list. Chillie's Cruises tell us about the Starlink internet on Breakaway. Is it much faster? I have had absolutely no problems with my internet anywhere I've been on the ship. I've had good solid signals here. I'm on deck 8, which at least is reasonably quiet and out of the way. I started to go up on 15 this morning where the buffet is, because I figured with people getting off the ship, it wouldn't be quite as loud up there this early. But actually, it was really bright sunshine, and I was afraid I couldn't see my scripts during the show. So I said, let me go back down to 8, because I know that I can get comfortable despite my battered body from my scooter wreck in the palm tree. So I'm still sore. My back's not as sore today. My neck's still sore. So I got a pretty good case of whiplash, I guess, from the palm tree. Goodness says we're going on one in September. But anyway, back to Tom's question. I've had just no trouble at all. And with all the vloggers, 174 vloggers, that's a lot of people using a lot of stream. And I've not heard anybody complain about it so far. And I know, all the regular guys, Don and Tony and Corey and myself, we're doing our dailies like always. I'm doing mine at a different time. I think they're pretty much staying on their schedule, but then I'm trying to spend more time ashore from now on. I'm going ashore today. I hope to, until I get out and actually see this road I've got to drive the scooter down, which has no sidewalks. I hope to go to the sloth facility and play with a sloth. That's my goal for today, at least. Kenneth says we're going on one in September. It's like $1,100 per person for a 16-day out of Seattle. Nice. I'm cruising to Barcelona in March. Can't wait. I love all the Royal Class Princess ships. There's 36 cruises with Princess so far. Wow, that's good, Carol. I didn't realize you'd done that many with Princess. Cool. Where's Dennis? I don't know. I haven't seen Dennis this morning. Well, of course, it's not morning for him, so he might have something to do today. It's also possible. Where's Nikki? Hope she's okay. Yeah, Nikki hasn't been here this morning. I don't remember her saying that she had any kind of doctor's appointments today. But then again, folks, remember, this is not a standard time, even though I've been trying to announce that I'm going to do. Then tomorrow will be 8 o'clock also when I go to Cozumel. Oh, yeah, today's Thursday. I'm supposed to do Cruz Amigos this afternoon. John, are we doing the Amigos today? I'll get back on shore in time to set it up and do it, I guess. We'll see. I haven't set it up yet, and I'm not going to have time this morning. So, three back-to-backs on Regal Princess in April and May this year. Cool. Mass Collector's here. Good morning. Don't forget the thumbs up to help promote Chillie's channel. Thank you very much. I always appreciate that. Just realized it's 30 and awake up until my next cruise. Very nice. This is a Kevin day for Cindy. NCL Escape. Can't wait. And Kevin says that's awesome too. That's pretty cool. Carol, when are you going on the Regal Princess and where are you going? There's Nikki. Hi, everyone. Forgot about the 8 a.m. broadcast. Good to hear from everyone. Glad you're okay, Nikki. We were worried about you. Kevin, how many do you have scheduled for this year? Oh, he's got a bazillion. 11 cruises scheduled so far, including one on Enchantment with me. Yep, that's coming up. I don't even remember the dates now, but yeah, Kevin and I will be together here in about a month or so. I want to say I think it's in February, isn't it? I don't remember. Anyway, that's my next cruise after I get home from this one. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I always appreciate the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider to do so. That helps us out a bunch. And hopefully, I'll see everybody back here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for another show. This one from Cozumel. So, that's going to wrap me up for today, guys. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. And hopefully we'll all get together real soon on the high seas. Have a fantastic day, everybody. See you tomorrow morning.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.